Okay, so there's a player complaining that nighttime looks like crap, and used a different word, but close enough. Uh, Said nighttime looks like crap in Scum. And he says like it looks so much better in other games. Well, you know what? Let's mess about a little bit here. Set time midnight, no, 24, just to make sure we're in the middle of the night. Okay, so this is, I believe, default darkness. Now, I guess I'm going to have to put on a coat. Now, let's see, spawn item, jacket. Hopefully that's enough to warm me up. Okay, so now I don't see, well, there's some light there. So I don't know if there's a moon. I don't see a moon. It might be directly overhead and I just can't see it. I don't know. No, I don't see a moon. Okay, so if there's no moon and it's midnight, then um, I don't know. It probably shouldn't be. You probably shouldn't be able to make out this much detail at night in real life. But your eyes do adjust to darkness, and so let me make sure the weather is completely clear. So I think that may have even added even more light. Alright, so let's see, set darkness. Is there no command here for that? Dark? Yes, no. Alright, so I guess we have to do it through server settings. So server settings, would that be world? Or features, maybe? No. General? So a lot of this is just going to be trying to find, I think it'll be under weather, right? Nighttime darkness. Okay, so right now it's at default 0. So if I, let's see, it says intensity of nighttime darkness, the lower it is, the brighter it gets, right? So if we want to crank up darkness, we could put it to 0.1. Apply until the server is restarted. Well, this is single player, so there's no server. Let's try it again. Server settings. Okay, this is max darkness. Let's see if it does anything. I may have to... So that's... Yeah, it seems like it did. So that's pretty dark. This is, I would say, closer to what you... Well, see, the thing is, I'm in a lit room right now, and I'm looking through a display that doesn't have very good HDR. I think it's high dynamic resolution or something like that. So the blacks on my screen aren't as deep maybe as they might be on another monitor, but I see a general loss of detail here. Like if I go over to these bushes, this is... It could be a little darker, because I've been in woods at night and I've seen how hard it is to see someone who's camouflaged, but I feel like I can see maybe about twice as far into the woods as I should be able to. But it's still pretty good. I mean, it's a pretty good simulation of darkness. But I thought you used to be able to make the game even darker. Like, it seems like even the stars are a bit muted. But you know what? Part of this is that I don't have... that would be in my game options. Video, VSync, gamma. Okay, my gamma is set to 2.4. I don't know if that's default or not. But one thing that would be a factor, I think, that would help simulate true darkness at night without any moonlight would be, where's the depth of field quality? If I turn that up to epic, back, resume game, yeah, that's okay, that's really different. And it feels like the stars are even more muted, which really stars, the darker it is, the less artificial illumination you have on Earth in your locale, the brighter the stars should be. So that's kind of like an inverse simulation of reality. Like, the darker it is on Earth, the more visible the Milky Way itself, the band of the Milky Way across the sky becomes. But, so here I've got depth of field turned on, and now it feels like it's harder to see into the woods. Now, now I can go to server settings, and I can go in the opposite direction to make sure that something's happening here. And then this is... Now, if you go on a private server and they have... and nighttime looks like this, well, that's because they've set the server that way. Now, why might they set it that way? The reason is probably because of what I've observed, and that is that players have a tendency to disconnect from the game when it's nighttime. And part of that reason is that they find it difficult to build when it's dark. So this is max illumination at night. So if this is what you're seeing on the private server you're connecting to, it's because the server was set that way. But if I go back, and that's... I mean, there should be depth of field there, but I'm not seeing any. Let me check my own options again. Graphics, post-processing. I wonder if the FSR is getting in the way of that. Maybe I could turn off FSR. I'm still not seeing any depth of field, really. Options, graphics. Do I have to turn up the post-processing quality? See, depth. And maybe turn on this. And maybe bloom quality also. Okay, depth of field quality I have set at epic still, so apply, back, resume, and I don't know, it doesn't, I'm not seeing depth of field right now. Let me try set time 12. I'm seeing a little, but it's seeing a little depth of field, but not much. It's certainly not the way Scum was when I first started playing it. Yeah, I mean, there's hardly any depth of field that I can see. So, um, options. No, I want server settings, world, and weather, nighttime darkness all the way. Apply. Okay. Back. Zoom. Set time. 12. No. Set time 24. So, I mean, that's pretty dark, man, but I agree that I'm pretty sure the game used to be able to get even darker than this. And they did it for that horror effect because, you know, some players wanted that that horror game type gameplay where you needed a flashlight in order to make out anything. But here it's like you can navigate with this. It might be harder when you get into the woods. So that player is complaining. He might have something to that because it seems like depth of field has been nerfed when that could really help. If it was like old Scum, it could really help to make the darkness more realistic. But at the same time, it also seems like it doesn't get as dark as it used to if you max out the darkness. So that player might be onto something there, because I fully expected max darkness to be much darker than this, and something like a horror game, because I seem to remember that's what it used to be like. I could try something though. Let's see. On item headlamp and spawn item batteries. Let me equip this, put that in there, and turn on. Okay, so this is what the darkness looks like with a headlamp on. So now if you're shining on things, it makes it harder to see into the darkness, the glare from the what you've illuminated. So maybe that's the way I'm remembering it, is that if you have a light, it becomes a lot harder to look into the darkness when you're shining it on things. Because this headlamp doesn't seem to reach very far. Of course, it might be the lay of the land. Let me see if I can get down here to the road. Yeah, it's like it's got a very abrupt die-off on the illumination from this headlamp. Like there should be a much more gradual fade in illumination from this headlamp. Let me see. Spawn. Was it M9 flashlight? Remove battery and put the battery in here. Put that in my hand and then turn that on. Oh wow, that one's that one's also kind of got an abrupt die off. I think that must be an engine limitation, because it seems like it happens about the same place as the headlamp. That's that's an abrupt die off there. It looks cool though. I haven't used this in a while. If you go to first person, you can still kind of see things in the distance. Was it Desert Eagle? Was it Flashlight? So ASVAL. I don't know, is the Deagle flashlight better? Seems like it's a little bit stronger. That could all be in my head though, but that abrupt cutoff on the illumination is still there. That seems to be an engine limitation. Spawn item. Yes. Flashlight. Yes, Val. This one. Yeah, same cutoff. this is night vision with max darkness. What if I go to server settings, world, hunting, weather, apply, back, resume. Doesn't look like it doesn't look like nighttime illumination affects the image in through night vision, which I guess kind of makes sense because you still want the circumstances to be night, and you still want night vision to work the way night vision is supposed to work. But I mean, this right here, this is almost like modern color night vision, even without the night vision goggles turned on. Anyway, so that's a look at darkness in the game determined by, what is that thing it's a tree that's, its level of detail is just, I don't know, something going on with that. So this is the in-game nighttime darkness determined by the server settings. So I don't know, maybe it could be darker. I don't think we need it any brighter, but maybe the darkness setting could actually go up to 2.0 in the future to allow players to have an even darker game.